Welcome to this spirit animal message. In tonight's message, I already have everything mostly all pulled, and I can tell you before I go into everything that it's just a really beautiful reading. It's a reading of this know thyself journey, someone who's walking that path. And I think of artists, spiritual practitioners of, a spectrum, artists of a spectrum, musicians, painters, all those type of people that just see the world in this special way. Let me just go right into this. Oh, and before I get any further, this is Guitar. She is a baby cockatiel and she has a splay leg condition. It's a situation where I have to get the right doctor in order to fix her legs. But she has trouble with standing and she hurt herself so she doesn't fly. So I don't mean to put your stuff out there, but she's so smart and she's so independent. And, not everything that she deals with doesn't slow her down necessarily. It does at the same time, but she's such a strong energy. I think of other birds that I've lost, and I think of what she's gone through and survived. She is an inspiration. Like, if people knew, the struggles that she's dealing with on a regular basis. And I think about anyone, the struggles that we deal with in life, the pressure cookers in life that shape us, that lead us into that inner self, right? Because usually when a person chooses that know thyself, it's usually something on the external world that pushes them to a path that's hidden in plain sight. And excuse me, my throat's a little sore. So white stag, protector. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken to the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. So right away, we're starting out with white stag, which is the symbolism for higher consciousness. Because it's such this pure energy, right? I mean, it's so full of light. It represents like this Christ consciousness, unity consciousness, however you resonate to that. And then it also reflects this energy of like this miracle of rebirth and renewal. And the phoenix comes to mind, and how we're always in this form of maybe perpetual rising, because when we are in tune with ourselves and we maintain that in tune with ourselves through however we are doing that, we're able to kind of move through life in a way where even when things happen, you can take this as a lesson and face it by going within to yourself. Eagle, mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. And another thing, today is Memorial Day. Just to say, and I'd just like to take a second and say happy Memorial Day. Even though this is a timeless reading, I think of the people that, choose a life where they put themselves in the line of fire for the safety of others, so they can be that one of many that stand up and carry us, in this way where they are the muscle, the strength that protect us from external forces. So we got eagle, mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. Excuse me. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. So you have a keen eye. And I don't mean like your eyes, even though perhaps that's part of, maybe that's something that you resonate to also. But I'm thinking more of like that inner eye. You have a clear inner eye where you're able to see through lies. Like no one can lie to you. In fact, when there's other people talking about you, you sense it. It's like you have eyes everywhere. And let's see. Black Jaguar. Old soul. Walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. So I think about how, let me just look at some notes that I had written over here. There is this, I wrote down gifted. So you may have just this natural gift. I think of the know thyself journey. And I feel like when you learn information, esoteric knowledge in the world, the true esoteric knowledge, the truth, the true, like the stuff we know, even if people don't talk in a unity of this, because there's different levels to how we perceive things. But you just know in a way where it's like when you learn something in you has already lived it. It's almost like everything you learn as far as the know thyself journey, when it truly resonates, it's because it feels like it's awakening a part of you that already existed, and it almost feels more authentic to you than anything else. It's like through this you have found yourself, and found yourself through in a way where it's like you're connecting to past lives, because by connecting to this, it's like you're shifting even the DNA, because I think about how our DNA stores generations of being. So we get, ways of being simply through our DNA. And it's like you are a connection to yourself that is so strong. It overrides any generational curse through every small piece that you receive, which brings you more in alignment with your true self. Okay. We have the Two of Wands. So, you have like these paths, and you're kind of going through this like introspection right now, and you have like all these things you're going through, memories, nostalgia, and I only say that because of what's sort of crossing you right now. Like this is where you're starting out at. It's like you're about to re-engage on your path, and you see there's just a lot of roads that you would like to maybe bring together as you're walking forward, because you see all this potential as to how you can help the world. It's like this gift, okay, that the jaguar, the sphere that the jaguar has around it. I feel like this is an energetic gift that you perceive within yourself, and that's the other hint to the mastery, because when we reached mastery, it's like part of our duty to be that teacher, to be that guide, within some, because you don't want to preach to people. You don't want to force anyone to believe something, or try to negotiate that. I feel like there's just a resonation when someone's ready to know that information, because it's really an inner journey. However, being a light in this way where it's not to force will upon anyone to believe it. However, it's truth, so the right people perceive it because they themselves also have gone through this journey, so they can resonate to you because they are in the same vibration. They maybe not in the exact same, but yeah, because we're all individuals, but I think how we vibing together is part of that unity consciousness. And you're going through this introspection because of maybe just changes or how you feel like you want to move forward. You just see how you don't want to just go, and you have a lot of ideas and things that you feel like you can release to the world, that when the right people find it, it will help heal themselves, because you yourself have built up this toolbox to heal yourself through any situation, right? And it's such a strong toolbox that now you are perceiving how this toolbox could be utilized to assist the world outside of you. And considering everything that the world can do to itself, as people can do to themselves, to each other, being that person to put those pebbles into the water of all, to ripple out and affect the world in a way that would create positive change. That I think about when you drop a pebble, when it hits and it goes all the way to where it could go, that energy flows back to you. So there's this energetic exchange where you're receiving in some way while also sending that out. So it's like that love and positive energy that you'll send out, that love and positive energy is actually going to echo back to you in this life and future lives. And then we have, in the distant past, you took initiative on something and started and engaged on something. And it led to you being this version of star of, and I think about what I was just speaking of. I don't mean to look away, but if I look too much at the camera, I lose track of my thoughts. There I go. So you're this reflection. You think of a star, right? And you think about how that means that you're on the stage of the world in some way, or the world perceives you in this way where you are the reflection. I think of like you are the person you would admire, so you are the person that other people admire because you worked on yourself. You put that, it wasn't probably easy, because we diamonds aren't formed, easily. I feel that, and I think about how look at this pearl, right? Look how beautiful in this spotlight and the star. And I feel like it's almost like something is leading you towards, it's like the lighthouse is the higher consciousness, is the light within. And it's like just lit, calling you in, because you're like absorbing that light or it's not absorption, it's reflection. So you're reflecting it because you've already gone through the process of rearranging through work, right? Because it's like your inner self shifted, right? So it's like you shifted who you once were through all of your work that you put into yourself. Because every time we put in we're always renewed. Every single day is a renewal. I think of the phoenix in perpetual rising, where, you know, every day you're leaving that day behind and you're moving on to the next day, because the present moment is really all that matters. Because once the past is in the past, you know, failure or win, you take, if something you perceive as a failure, you know, introspection can help lead you to clear sight, which in this case you have that. So if anything ever stumped you, simply going within yourself will help you clear that sight. And I think you're learning to you've learned to trust that sight is what it is. And you have a strong trust to that sight. This is like in like the near future, this is something that you're going to be dealing with as far as your journey, which is, you see how this toad has its eyes closed and there's a sword resting on the ground. It's like the sword of communication, but the eyes are closed. There's no, you can tell that it's like this toad is meditating, and the sword is down. So that means you're not communicating. You're holding back your communication. And then I think about these 3 swords in the back of someone standing up and talking, and maybe a bunch of people just talking. And you can maybe even like sense this all happening around you. And it's like you're not even attaching to anything that is, you're letting go of anything that isn't for you. Even if you sense it, it's like that inner work is assisting you to release anything and put it back on who it belongs to. Because sometimes it's like, yeah, take your stuff and put it back on you, because this is me. And in just knowing how to navigate people, because sometimes it's really, not sometimes, always, you know, having that strong intuition, having that strong clear sight, having that emotional discernment, and not just in yourself and other people, to know when it's someone else and not you, or when it's you and not someone else. To not blame shift onto yourself when it is someone else. Like, you have a very clear sight. The goal, the destiny, your destiny is this King of Pentacles, which is this embodiment to me where you're grounded, you face the storm. I think of the buffalo and what the buffalo does when it's facing a challenge. It runs straight for the storms, right? Instead of like where some creatures, and this is what I've read, some creatures will run, right? Well, the buffalo is known to run straight for the storm because it has this knowing that if it runs straight for the storm and runs straight through it, it gets out of the storm faster, versus like trying to run from a storm, which could potentially just catch up to the buffalo. It does this almost counterintuitive act of heading straight towards it on a level. So it's like you go straight into yourself, facing your inner storm when anything goes on, which is because your destiny is to not be this base level, not to be that lack consciousness, not to be, you know, you're meant for that greatness because that's actually who you are. It's not something you're faking. So that's your destiny because that's truly who you are, that embodiment of the best life. And that's what you know about yourself. You know yourself, know thyself. The Hermit. So recently, perhaps something happened, even though, yes, you had this star moment, you're having this star and you're having these initiatives, you're taking the initiative. Something may had pushed you in various ways, or it depends on the person, into this hermit space where you're just more in this isolated mind, maybe not as, maybe just had to take a step back, basically, in ways. strength. Sorry, I was just looking at some notes. I have this thing over here with notes on it. Let me get it closer so I can see. So the strength card. All of the things that you've done as far as this journey, it's just, that's who you are, I think. And you could be a Leo or a fire sign, but you don't need to be. But this is embodiment of your strength. All to maintain this kind of being, and to not allow the outside world to project the illusions and not attach to them, it takes a great deal amount of strength that people don't perceive. The people that some people would be like, I don't know, find a way to criticize, the know thyself journey. And that's why I always feel like it's true strength to choose the road less traveled, because the inner work is a road less traveled, because people do attach to drama. People do attach to the realities in a way where, they perceive that this is the only way, that they can't shift themselves through meditation. They don't overstand or understand the whole of it all because they haven't chosen to make that commitment. And sometimes it takes a push that pushes a person or breaks a person in a way where they go in to perceive that they're not broken, but to also fix the way that they see so that they perceive when, they perceive clearly, wherever the situation is going or whatever. Right now, you're dealing with whatever you're working towards. You're getting just a lot of page answers or advice. It's like people that want to give you advice about what you're doing in your life, whatever that might be. You're getting a lot of, page type energies that passionately maybe come your way in different ways, giving insight. But they're pages and they mean well, but at the end of the day, I feel like better than these energies, and so they're not as helpful, but you may get, maybe a little bit here and there, but because this is like the environmental, like the people, the energies around you. So some people are possibly trying to assist you with something that you're dealing with, or, I don't know, the people that are loving around you are just coming off as these pages, right? They're not coming off as kings and queens or knights. They're coming off as just lower consciousnesses, and not to be mean, but just can't perceive the situation clearly. So you kind of that might be part of the isolation, because they can't perceive themselves, so they're really not able to help you. And the Three of Coins, this is your inner emotions. So you're working on yourself in this way. Let me put her down for a second. It's like you're working on, yourself, and that's where your emotions are, is just that self-work. But excuse me, I think there's more to this, and I'm having a blank thought moment. Okay, actually, so it's like new doors are like opening within yourself, and that's where you're kind of focusing on, because that's where the introspection is coming. And also, I think about new doors can also be new people. right? New connections. And I think about, because the next card, which is the last card, you sense something coming, perhaps, is what I'm feeling, because I'm trying to like see the positions and see what is the storyline. So you perceive through your emotions, through that inner sight of something coming in for you. You may not know what it is what I'm getting. It's like, you know, something's coming, you know, there's this new beginning coming on top of everything that you're dealing with, maybe, and you're not sure what it is, and I feel like you know that it's positive. And what I have is a Two of Cups. So it's a bond. And this, I feel like this is like a true love connection. I feel like, let me pick her back up. This is real unconditional love. Think about, you know, how some love has conditions, or it's like this person that you'll connect with, you can be yourself in a way that you can't be yourself with others, because they just don't see the way you do. And that's not bad or anything. It's just, you know, to have someone who actually resonates to who you are and you can talk to and connect with, because they are the same. They are another one. I think of someone who fills their own cup, someone who knows how to take care of their emotional and mental and physical, all these things. No matter, you know, what life throws at them, they are able to, you know, alchemize whatever it is and still rise and move forward. And every time it just strengthens them more. Just like you, just like whoever is listening, that's how you face reality. You know, whenever something's thrown at you, you utilize that as like a fuel almost to that know thyself journey. Like, okay, you know, this is just a ignition to, you know, amplify, you know, this protection and connection of your energy and connection to your inner sight. So it's just, it strengthens every single time it's pushed, because when you come out of it, you rise to a better version of yourself. So it's like you're always in competition with yourself and not the self outside of self. You're actually, I think that's part of that sphere and part of this inner love, and why you work hard is this desire to help others through information you have. We have Mountain Goat. Fighting for love or ardent declarations may hide unfaithfulness. And I think about, you know, when we connect to someone and we're uncertain and I don't know, it's like if they're not engaging in a whole way, right away we start feeling like, okay, they're not interested, and we'll start wandering our eyes or whatever that might be. And I feel like give this new bond space to breathe, basically, because it's a divine connection and it's magnetic. You're both magnetically attracted to each other in this way because of the way that you resonate to each other. And, you know, yes, engage when you feel called, but don't misread a situation simply because the bond hasn't completely formed yet, maybe, because maybe it's just starting, the door is just opened, you know, you're just really perceiving it, and because you're so keen, you have such a keen sight, you see it, and it may not even be in front of you, like in your physical reality, but it's in your reality in a higher dimension. And I feel like giving it that patience will help bring it more into the reality, into the present moment reality. And then there are, we're long And then we have a card from Living with a Feathered Heart, the 42 Ideals of Ma'at in Daily Life. Thank you for whoever has stuck around. Hopefully you're getting insight or guidance on your path that you resonate to. And if you are still here and you're resonating to this message, feel free to push that like and subscribe. And this channel right now is just really starting, and I plan to only grow, and not just with readings, meditations, various ways to help others on that Know Thyself journey through my experiences and insights. I speak with sincerity. So I speak with sincerity. Let me just put this close so you can see it. See how she has that feather over her mouth? And all the symbolism around her head. It's like the downloads, or like the actual esoteric knowledge that, or the, not to say esoteric, but it's just a word that people use to define something that they need to define it in some fashion. So esoteric knowledge. And I think of this feather, how it's over her mouth. It's almost like your words are this, they come out light. They come out in this lightness, this light as a feather. So it's like people can take it in a little bit easier just because of the way you speak, the way you work your words with your inner self, because you're so in tune with yourself that your higher consciousness and you are like best friends, is the best way I could put it. Let's see. My baby girl is having trouble standing in my hand, so ooh. I apologize, this is a long message, and I appreciate anyone who has stayed this long, and hopefully you stayed this long because you're getting something out of it. I would like to read this passage or this card, or at least some of it at least. I'm not sure how much of it. I speak with sincerity. So number 9. And that's so funny because the end of the short that I had done for this video, the 9 came through as a number. So completion, cycle completions. And I think about the bottom of the deck and what I'm looking at right now. It's like this Queen of Cups, emotional fulfillment, reuniting with someone or a connection. And then you have the World. So it's like completing a cycle and starting a new one where your life is going to be so much more full of love. And I think about that Know Thyself journey and how lonely it can be, because you to find someone that resonates to who you are in that space. It's such a gift to find someone that you can share that with and be that power couple. I think of how people can be, toxic power couples, but when you're in that Know Thyself journey and you're so devoted to thyself and the self of other, in the self of outside of self, it's the power couple is to assist the world in beautiful ways, you know what I mean, where it's affecting the world moving forward in a way that will create great positive change. So, number 9. Okay, so we have, I speak with sincerity. The sun speaks to us each day as it rises from the east, its living language uttered in the daily warmth, and its light shared without expectation of anything in return. The words it speaks come to us through that which is unspoken, the selfless illumination of the celestial sphere, offering light in order to allow the symphony of creation, to continue to grow and evolve. As we speak, we create, and our words are consistently spelling a direct result with each vibration of sound. Every word we choose carries its own power or vibratory signature, and what we utter into the universe is echoed back through the spells we cast with our verbal frequency. If we remember the sun as we form our words, the metaphor of light and warmth can shape the context of our communication. The virtue of sincerity in the spoken word can manifest if we lead with solar language. Radiate warmth with your words, offer light with your intention, and speak truth without expectation. Let what you spell allow others to rise, to grow, to be illuminated with love. Illumined with love as the darkness of fear is dissolved. While the concept of language affecting environment may seem wholly esoteric, science reminds us that vibration forms and moves substance in the study of semiotics, which shows the visible effect of sound. Sound structures matter, and the mind is the matrix of all that matters. And the mind is the matrix of all that matters. Mind your words and evolve matter with a sunny vocabulary that spells sounds of brilliance and sincerity. With each word, you have the opportunity to create a beginning, a genesis of experience, which can unfold as your intention is reflected back to you. In the very same breath, your words can serve as a catalyst of destruction if they are voiced solely from a void of darkness. Dark words spin webs of deceit, and lies will eventually trap you in your own delusions and illusions. The genesis birth from a lie can culminate in the death of a star, extinguishing the potential for light in the dark density of dishonesty. If you wax poetic instead of waning with sincerity, you allow momentum to carry your journey forward. However, if you choose to remain fluent in darkness, the downward spiral will continue until you become fully and wholly aware of your choices. And I think about that. I was talking to my daughter about this today, of choices we make. Feeding the animal within us. Feeding the wrong animal, you get it bigger. And it creates this, how it's affecting you and the outside world. You feed the good in you. That's the animal you chose to feed. So that's the animal that shines through. You speak with this sincerity. I think of myself, I have moments where I make a mistake when I speak, or I'll misspeak, or I'll missay something. Like yesterday, I think it was, I said I had 3 sons, and I have 2 sons and a brother who is a year younger than my son, and they were out in the kitchen, and I said, there was 3 of them. I have 3 sons, so in that it was this lie, but it wasn't a lie because I was in this verbal sincerity of my words, and it was like a mishap. So I think of, don't allow mishaps to bring you down at all too much. You know, use that as a lesson to maybe slow down, which is something I'm working on. Because you can be quick and slow. This is slowed down. It's to be within the present moment, right? To actually be sincere and not rushing because of what you may fear could, I don't know, like with me, I'm always worried about how my house is going to behave while I'm recording. So doing your best, and you're using this beautiful ideal of Ma'at, of speaking with sincerity, and that's affecting the world in a positive way. And it's also leading to this beautiful new connection where you're going to be able to have that gift of unconditional love. Because I think of how so many forms of love come with conditions. This person that's coming into your world, into your reality, is not like anyone else around you or that has been around you. This person is going to be like a mirror to who you are. You mirror each other. So I pray this helped, and I pray you all have a beautiful evening. Thank you for watching this message, and I pray you all got something from it.